Okay, welcome to hour 8. And welcome to...
The following announcement has been paid for by the...
nOw.
That. So, before we get started, just an update on the charity stream portion of it. We are 8 hours deep. We are heading into the nOw podcast. And yeah, right now we are up to almost $1,300. Dollar bill, y'all. Yeah, that's a lot of money going to some really good charities. So, other than that, I'm here as always with Trevor.
What's up, everyone? Sorry, I had it muted while you were doing your intro.
You're good. And yeah, we're going to be talking about what we like, what we dislike, things like that from Raw and SmackDown, and of course AEW and NXT. Rampage has started up, so we're going to hit on that a little bit. We're going to be talking about the CM Punk debut. We're also going to be talking about Braun Strowman and Buddy Murphy signing to Impact Wrestling. And yeah, just some more rumors that are going on. We're also going to be talking about SummerSlam and TakeOver because we did not hit on those yet. We wanted to wait a little bit. So, here we are. So I guess we can start with what we love the most. Raw.
Yay, Raw. Well, technically, shouldn't we cover SummerSlam and TakeOver first because they happened before?
Yeah,
Raw?
let's do that. Let's do that. We'll hit TakeOver 36. And then SummerSlam. I'm just pulling up the result page. Okay, so SummerSlam was first, so let's hit on SummerSlam. Did you watch the kickoff show?
I did not.
So we did have Big E versus Baron Corbin. At this time, Baron Corbin did have Big E's briefcase. So he was obligated to have a match with Big E. And this was Big E's way of really getting back the Money in the Bank briefcase. Of course, he did win. The match was decent. They did get a little bit of time because this was on the pre-show. So yeah, I mean, this was good. They are telling the story of Big E well. This was the downfall of Baron Corbin. Yeah, and this is in Vegas, and we're going to be talking about Baron Corbin a little bit as well. A little bit deeper into the podcast. Next, to open up the show, we had the Raw Tag Team Championship. AJ Styles and Omos, the champions, versus RK Bro. How did you feel about this match?
I thought this was a really good match, and I liked the outcome. I was kind of surprised at the outcome, but I like it. The RK Bro winning the titles, they seem like a fun team together. And
yeah.
It's kind of weird to say about Randy Orton because he's usually serious, but with Riddle he laughs, and I mean he's still serious, but he's a little more like loose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he jokes around a little bit more. Just like when he did the RKO, he was RKO on Riddle. He was tapping the back of his head, pretty much saying that he was still with him, kind of. It was a weird altercation there.
Good match to kick off the show.
Yeah, so like Trevor said, RK Bro does pick up the win. They become your new Raw Tag Team Champions. in an actually pretty good match. Almost was looking a little bit better than he typically does, so that was good as well.
Yeah, and it was followed up by a dumpster fire.
It was followed up by Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie. This was strange. Alexa Bliss, of course, coming out with Lily. They had the big Lily when she was entering that people were making fun of. Bliss does end up getting the win after Eva Marie takes Lily and beats Lily. She beats her up a little bit and then smacks Alexa Bliss in the face with her. This was something.
I think Lily has more wrestling talent than Eva Marie.
At this point, I wouldn't disagree with you. After the match, Doudrop took the microphone, kind of like Eva Marie has been doing, saying that Eva Marie is the winner. But this time, Doudrop says that the loser of the match is Eva Marie.
And give her old name back. Doudrop.
Yeah, she should really get her old name back. But she says that she kind of is embracing that new name. I don't see why, but that's what she says. So, who are we, you know?
Is she saying that, though, so she doesn't get yelled at?
Probably. After this, we did get the United States Championship match. This is the first time a mid-card title has been on a pay-per-view in a while.
Yes, let's have more of that.
Yeah, absolutely. We had Sheamus, the champion, going up against Damian Priest, and this was actually another pretty good match. I'm not a huge fan of Damian Priest. I get his talent a little bit, but I think he more just has the look of a wrestler. But he is pretty good. This match was actually a pretty decent match. I had no real complaints about it. Sheamus selling the face injury, of course, after he gets the mask, the protective mask ripped off of him. And then that's when Damian Priest hits the Reckoning to pick up the win. This was solid.
Yeah, it was a really good match. I'm fine with Priest winning. I like him. He's not my favorite. I think they should push some other people, but I'm not mad at him getting pushed either.
Yeah, it's good that they're having somebody
solid
new
for a long time.
Yeah, it is good how they're having somebody new doing some stuff. So that's nice.
Let's try to keep the title elevated. Keep showing it, because like on SmackDown, I didn't even remember that Shinsuke had the IC title.
Yeah, and that's a problem. That's a pretty big problem, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Next up, we had the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Sorry, I have the hiccups. We had the Usos coming in as the champions, going up against the Mysterios. Really just a rematch. But it was a decent rematch. I can't complain too much. It got the job done. I was kind of hoping that this would be more the end of this little feud between the two teams, but it doesn't look like it's going to be. And we're going to talk about what's going on with the Mysterios as well in a little bit.
Yeah, it was still a good tag match. I mean, especially for WWE. It was an average tag match anywhere else, but for WWE, it was a really good one because, they hate tag matches.
Yeah. Next up, we had the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. Bianca Belair comes out first, followed by the announcers saying that Sasha Banks was unable to compete. Therefore, Bianca Belair would be facing Carmella, who we have seen her face week in and week out for the past 3 or 4 weeks at this point. So Carmella does get to the ring. It looks like the match is going to start, but Becky Lynch's music hits. which is great. It was great. She got a great pop, everything like that. She does come out, beat up Carmella, toss her out of the ring, takes the mic, and does say, how about we give the people of Las Vegas what they want? A one-on-one match between the EST and the Man. The match was accepted, and it shouldn't have been accepted, because after she accepted it, they hyped the crowd up really, really hard, selling it. And the bell rang, and it was over in 20 seconds. It was a forearm, a Uranagi suplex. What did she call that move again? I'm blanking.
I don't even remember. It
looks like a rock bottom.
Disrespectful to Belair.
Yeah, that was 1, 2, 3, and it was done.
If she'd have lost in a regular competitive match, I still wouldn't have wanted it, but it would have been fine. It would have been a lot better than this.
It would have been understandable.
Awful. Yeah, because you would have at least shown her respect and had her do something. This was just like, okay, your title reign is just, we didn't care about it now. Becky's back.
Ty, I did watch it back. She didn't have the pump handle. It looked like it was a rock bottom. It was like a modified rock bottom. She didn't have the pump handle. Because I double checked once we talked about it. And then even on here, it just says that it was a Uranagi. Which a Uranagi isn't a pump handle. But yeah, this was bad regardless. Even if it was the manhandle slam.
Apparently, they've known
that's a really dumb name.
Sasha wasn't going to be in the match for over a week, and they were still advertising it. And you could have just said something. I don't even know what happened. I've heard COVID, but then I've also heard that's not the reason. And I don't know.
There's been a lot of different rumors.
Switch this up and just not did it. And just been like, okay, just don't give a reason even. They do that all the time. They just don't have a match and don't tell you why. Just throw Becky out there, because Becky, I know they're going to make her heel because of this. I mean, they have to, almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hated everything about this. It went from very hype because Becky was back to what the hell are you doing in 30 seconds, not even.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's see here. After this, we had another dumpster fire. We had Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal. Not a good match at all. And both of these guys can put on good matches. Unpopular opinion.
Style match.
Yeah, unpopular opinion. I actually like Jinder Mahal. I liked his title reign. It was unexpected. It was a nice breath of fresh air.
I don't hate it. I didn't hate it, but I think
not a fan.
Too many matches against Orton.
That it was. Which Orton was in a lot of matches, a lot of championship matches. Then
that you don't expect to get a shot or with the title to give it to him.
Yeah.
But don't just put 6 matches against Randy Orton, and then one of them was in Punjabi prison just because he's
They wanted the pop of Kali just because he's Indian.
Yeah, of Indian descent. I mean, he's from Canada, so. And they just did it so they could get the market over there, and it didn't help really. That's what I was.
Nope.
Last I heard.
Let's see. Next up, Drew McIntyre got the win. If anybody cared, not like it mattered. But next up, we had arguably the best match of the night. Arguably, we had Nikki, almost a superhero, versus Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. This match was good. I watched it back and I enjoyed it. I did enjoy the fact that they didn't have the obvious picks as the winner. Do I like that they put it on Charlotte again? Not really, but with the rumors of Charlotte Flair leaving, that was the one person I was like, there's no way she's going to win. And then she did win. But it was a great match regardless. Yeah, Nikki...
I just didn't care for the results.
Yeah, Nikki was a transitional champion. We kind of all figured that from the start.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we had the other possible match of the night. We had Edge versus Seth Rollins. Edge's ring entrance was fire, literally. The beginning of it was the Brood, and then it did transition over to his regular.
I'm not gonna lie. I really loved the Brood entrance when he did it.
Did you?
Yeah.
It was a nice throwback.
I was a fan of them.
Gotcha. The storytelling in this match was phenomenal. Seth Rollins, of course, is great in the ring, storytelling, everything. Edge, if anything, he is a very good storyteller. I will give him that. Seth Rollins was targeting the neck the majority of the match. But yeah, this was a great match that was back and forth. I think the wrong person won, and won the wrong way. Edge did pick up the win over Seth Rollins, but Edge won via... I'm trying to think of... via crossface, really. Which I don't like because it was literally Daniel Bryan's finisher, and that was kind of the last guy that was doing the same exact things he's doing now. He has his own submission finisher, so I don't understand. He has the educator, so why is he going to finish the match with somebody else's finisher? It just doesn't make sense to me. And he's been using it since the feud with Roman as well with the chair.
Yeah, I don't mind Edge winning because they're going to continue the feud.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Edge needs to pick up a win in the feud sometime too to make it legit. But I think Rollins in the end will be the winner overall.
He needs to be, because we don't need Edge versus Roman again. I think we need Seth Rollins versus Roman. If Roman keeps the title, of course. Because, moving on, the next match, we had the WWE Championship. Bobby Lashley, the champion, versus Goldberg in a dumpster fire. It was not a 2-minute match, so that's good. But Goldberg did look sloppy.
You forgot the little bit of Xavier Woods and John Morrison and Miz. That was not good either.
That was bad. I forgot it, and I'm upset you brought it back up and reminded me. I forgot it existed.
You gotta cover the ugly stuff too.
True. But yeah, the WWE Championship, Goldberg looked pretty sloppy in the match. There was a point in the match where he sold a knee injury. It's a kayfabe injury. He's not actually injured. And then Bobby Lashley targeted that leg over and over and over to the point where the referee called for the bell because Goldberg could not stand up on that leg anymore, and he was selling it fairly okay.
I hated this ending, though, because, okay, it's a wrestling match. Make him tap out and then make something. I know they're doing it to protect Goldberg, but it's like... The one thing that I did like about the end of the match is Goldberg's 15-year-old son hopping on the back of Bobby Lashley to try to protect his father, and he gets stuck in the hurt lock and passes out. Like, F them kids.
Which was great. The match was garbage. The ending segment was great. But the part that I didn't like was, while this was hilarious and it was great, this also means that we're going to have to get Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg again.
they want to keep using Goldberg, they need to do like AEW does with Sting and put him in tag matches. Where he can tag it and get a little bit of offense. I mean, he didn't look good with the little bit of offense he had, but he can tag in, get some offense in, tag out, so he's not winded after 2 minutes. He can stand on the side, catch his breath.
Yeah.
I mean, Sting can go a lot better than he can, but they're still doing that for him so he can get in, look good, and get out. Just protect the guy. He's old. For wrestling, he's old.
For sure.
I don't know exact age, but you know he's up.
He's
there.
in his 50s for sure. Actually, it might be in his early 60s. Let's see. Goldberg. Let's see your age. 54 years old. So, I mean, realistically, he's not... I mean, yeah, that's old, but it's not as old as I thought it was. He's a lot sloppier than a lot of other 54-year-olds.
Yeah, he was never a great wrestler, though. So, obviously, he's going to decline, and he didn't have a lot of wrestling skill. He had 2-minute matches that squashed people, and, I mean, he had some longer ones that were okay, but most of the matches you remember his were those 2-minute squash matches. He comes in, hits the spear, hits the jackhammer, throws him around a little bit, and yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Never
I mean, yeah, like you said, even when he was in his prime, he wasn't a wrestler. Like, he was a quick match guy, did his power moves, got out of there. He was just a draw in that way. But moving on to the main event, we had the Universal Championship. Roman Reigns, the champion, versus John Cena. This is the first John Cena match that my son has seen live. And for some reason, it was like 6 months ago, randomly, he was like, oh, AJ Styles isn't my favorite wrestler anymore. John Cena is, because he's seen a Scooby-Doo cartoon where John Cena was in it. He's never seen John Cena wrestle a day in his life. So this was the first time he did, and I loved that John Cena lost. This was actually a pretty good match. Again, these two are both very good at storytelling, especially John Cena. Roman Reigns' stipulation was that if he lost, he was going to leave WWE. So we kind of got the ending ruined for us the Friday before SummerSlam, because there was no way Roman Reigns was losing and leaving WWE when his contract doesn't end until 2023. That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Ken wants to know if you can play on stream again. Yeah, later if he's up at 10:30.
Yeah, like you said, I never thought he was going to lose. I mean, there was a small part before that I thought he had a chance to lose, but I was thinking no, because I thought they were building for like The Rock, but obviously comes after this maybe. Yeah, it was a good match. I don't hate Cena, and I don't get why people hate him so much. I mean, he's pushed down our throat. It's not his fault. He didn't go in there and be like, I want to be put. I mean, he might have said something.
Welcome.
They got to decide in the back. It wasn't just him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the whole, he only has 5 moves. So do a lot of guys.
Hello, I just want to say have an amazing day, stay positive, and always be happy. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We're on a charity stream right now that is 8.5 hours deep. We're having a good time. We've raised almost $1,300 today for veteran organizations. So it's been a great day to say the least. But yeah, this match was good, and John Cena, I don't hate John Cena either. I don't understand why people hate him. They kind of hate him the same reason why they hated Roman Reigns before the Tribal Chief, because he did kind of get pushed pretty heavily, and he won a lot of titles really fast. But Roman Reigns does pick up the win via pinfall. And then after the match, we hear Brock Lesnar's music. And the dude came out looking swole, looking like John Moxley with his black tank top and his jeans. And he had
like Goro from Mortal Kombat.
Also looking like Goro from Mortal Kombat.
Minus 2 arms.
He had his beard is back. He had a man bun. Completely different Brock Lesnar than the way we saw him last.
He was smiling and looking like he was having fun.
Yeah.
On the way out there, and when he has fun and is invested in a match,
that's when he's fun.
You get good matches out of him. Brock can go, but if he doesn't give a shit, he just phones it in, and that's when you get him versus Dean Ambrose.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean this was great. It was a nice surprise, and they definitely needed a nice surprise on this specific night because of what happened the night before. But yeah, he came out to the ring to stare Roman Reigns down, and Roman Reigns got out of the ring, and he left with Paul Heyman, who used to be with Brock Lesnar. So that's a little interesting dynamic we have going on here. But the one thing, we're having a lot of people, every pay-per-view now, return to stare down Roman Reigns after he picks up a win. Like, in my head, I feel like now, once he beats Brock at the next pay-per-view, somebody else is going to come out. Like, The Undertaker is going to come out and stare him down. And it's just going to be an ongoing gimmick of people coming down.
Rated just said Heyman's acting scared was nice. That I loved Heyman's reaction.
Great.
He didn't know what was going on.
This has been too.
And I'm just excited for that story.
It's been 2 in a row.
The meme, Paul Heyman on a pole match. Yeah, this is going to be a good story. And I mean, this Reigns has been the story in WWE, so this is going to be him carrying them more.
And then after the show went off the air and Roman Reigns had left, there was video footage that was put out by WWE and by fans of Brock Lesnar taking John Cena to Suplex City and hitting him with an F5 before leaving. This was nice. The Rock is next. Probably not next. They do want him at they want that match at a WrestleMania, and the next WrestleMania is in, where is it? Texas or Hollywood? It's in one of the two. I think it might be Texas next year.
I've heard Cena's got like one more thing he's committed to, and then he's done with WWE for a while. Is what he's saying.
Yes, he is going to be at MSG on the 10th of September. And that is the last thing he is going to be doing for who knows how long. I couldn't remember if it was Dallas or if it was Hollywood. I know Dallas is coming up. Or maybe it's not. Was this year supposed to be Dallas? Or was this year supposed to be Hollywood? I know it really got confusing because of COVID and everything got rescheduled and they stayed in. Yeah, it got weird. But that was SummerSlam.
I thought it was a good show. It had some really good parts, and then it had some really, really, really bad parts. But overall, I would say I liked it. I had a good time watching it.
What would you give it out of 10?
Probably a 7, maybe 7.5.
I'd probably give it a 6. There was a lot of cringe. There was a couple good matches. There's 3 good matches, if we're being honest. But there was a lot of bad stuff in there as well. The whole Becky Lynch thing ruined it for me. Ruined a good portion of it for me. That was rough. And then, yeah, just some of the other matches that were in there. Check nOw made a power crab emote. Okay, is it a crab doing a powerbomb? Because if it's not, I don't want it.
Yeah, the bad stuff was really bad.
Ty, what you should have done is took one of the crab people from South Park, had him doing a power bomb, and that should have been the emote.
The Lesnar return at the end probably was what hyped it up more for me, I'd say, because I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
And the fact that he looks like he's into this story and the storyline itself should be really good because of all the people involved. Maybe that's what hypes it up to a 7 for me. And the 3 matches, you said that they were really good. I mean,
yeah. I mean, the triple threat women's match was good. Odd winner, but it was good. Edge versus Seth Rollins, very good match. I just felt like they chose the wrong winner because in my mind after that match, in my mind, I was like, okay, well now Edge is going to be in the title picture again, and Seth Rollins is still sitting on the sideline when they're going to give us another match that we've seen again, and yeah, normal. But yeah, like I said, it's not a bad card.
And good. It's good also. The 2 men's tag matches. So.
But if we're really going to talk about good pay-per-views, let's talk about NXT TakeOver 36. I take that back. Some of it was good. There was some bad parts to this that is not like NXT. But anyway, NXT TakeOver 36 was held the Sunday after SummerSlam. We opened up with the $1 Million Championship. Cameron Grimes defeating LA Knight for the $1 Million Championship, which was a pretty okay match. I'm going to be honest. I fell asleep for like the first 3-4 matches. I did rewatch it, so I know I did actually watch the matches again. But yeah, it was that night I was not. No. Let's see. Oh, why is it doing this? Okay. Anyway. So yes.
I did not watch the pre-show.
You didn't? Neither did I.
All right.
At least I don't remember it. I don't remember it.
You took a nap during it.
Yeah. I mean, I literally slept until I was like, I don't care about any of these matches besides Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. I just didn't. I don't know why. I just didn't care about any of these matches.
The $1 Million Championship, which is our first match.
Yeah.
I like this one. LA Knight was put his belt on the line against Cameron Grimes. If LA Knight won, Ted DiBiase had to be LA
His
Knight's
butler
as well. I think as well, or instead of Cameron.
I think it was
in
in place of.
Anyway, Cameron Grimes won, so that points me. I thought it was a good match. $1 Million Man interfering and putting on the $1 Million Dream.
Mm-hmm.
Also loved it because I love $1 Million Man. And I wish they were going to do more with this, but after NXT, obviously they're not going to.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because on NXT, Cameron Grimes did try to give back the $1 Million Championship to Ted DiBiase, and it ended up being a fake. It wasn't even the real title. So the whole time they were fighting, they weren't even fighting over the real title, which was pretty funny.
Yeah. This has been a good storyline, I think. Funny one. And I think they both looked better in the end for it.
I'd agree. Next up, we had the NXT Women's Championship match, Dakota Kai versus Raquel Gonzalez. Raquel Gonzalez picking up the win. This was an okay match. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but it was pretty good. I do like Dakota Kai a lot. I kind of thought this was Dakota Kai's time to be the top of that division, but it was not.
Isn't she getting moved up to the main roster? I mean, she had a match on Dark Match, I think it was, but
Yeah, but Austin Theory's been having a lot of dark matches as well. So I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't. This was a good match, but I just didn't care enough about it.
Yeah.
But I like Dakota Kai, and they're both good wrestlers. Gonzalez has improved a lot, but I just didn't care about it that much. And Gonzalez, I obviously got the win because, as you said, you thought it was going to be Kai.
Yep.
And then Kaylee Lee Ray came out from NXT UK, stared down Gonzalez.
Which that'll be good. It should.
Yeah, I don't know anything about her really.
I mean, she held the title for way too long, just like our next match, Walter.
Ty says absolutely the wrong winner. I think he was talking about the one we were just talking about, the ladies.
Yeah, the women's match. Yeah. Yeah, we had Dragunov versus Walter in their rematch of arguably their match of the year, match of the decade maybe, that they had before this.
I never saw the first one, to be fair.
You didn't? This one was good. I don't think it was as good, but this was still match of the night.
Yeah, this
Easily.
Match was great. Dude, Dragunov's chest just looked like hamburger at the end.
Yep. And I mean, Walter didn't look that great either.
No, they both had marks,
yeah,
but I'm just saying Dragunov's chest was just destroyed. It looked like Daniel Bryan's chest after like a couple hits, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, this was a great match. I would say, if you want to go back and watch any match from this card, go back and watch this one because this is wrestling. And it was great because Dragunov had stitches over his eye from his match from Roderick Strong, which I was really disappointed they didn't, because he was getting hit a lot. So I would have assumed, and it would have made the match just a little bit better. Like, sometimes blood does make a match a little bit better. I think busting a stitch or two and it bleeding again, I think that would have made this match even better than it actually was. But yeah, this was a great match. We have a new NXT UK champion. Dragunov does pick up the win. That is ending Walter's reign of way too long. Because COVID kind of ruined his entire reign. I'm not going to say didn't have a good reign or anything, but he also didn't defend the title a lot. He had over a year of a break. So when they do say that he held the title for, over 2 years? 6 months?
I was going to say, didn't they just shut down NXT UK?
Yeah, shut it down completely. They didn't do anything. So yeah, him and Kylie Ray both just had their titles and they were sitting at home with them for over a year and a half. And both of them became the longest reigning champs of their era, which means all of WWE as well, which is kind of lame again because they didn't have a choice. They didn't have a choice to defend it. So, but yeah. Dragunov does pick up the win. He is the new UK champion. I do think that they should keep doing like really big UK title matches on takeovers because they're honestly, we had Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate match of the night. We've had Dragunov and Walter as match of the night. We've had Pete Dunne and Walter as match of the night. All on regular takeovers. So they knock it out of the park every single time they do it. They really should be showcased a little bit better.
Pete Dunne is NXT champion instead of Karrion Kross.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would agree with that 100%. Next up, we had a 2 out of 3 falls match between Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. Now, we kind of expected Adam Cole was going to Adam Cole was going to lose this match. Number one, because his contract was already up by this point. He signed an extension to the Friday after this pay-per-view, so he could still do it and put Kyle O'Reilly over. We already knew that because of internet and dirt sheets and everything like that because of the new era. Yeah, so we kind of knew that Kyle O'Reilly was going to be put over in this match. I was disappointed in this match, heavily. I love both these guys. The first fall was a traditional wrestling match, which Kyle O'Reilly does pick up the win here after he blocks the Panama Sunrise and drops down into a pinfall. So it was a little bit of a quick pinfall there to give him the quick 1-0. Then the second fall was a street fight, which went on a little bit longer. This is where Kyle O'Reilly does get injured. He injures his ribs, correct? I believe it's his ribs, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was his ribs. But yeah, this was a great sequence to this fall where Adam Cole does hit the last shot and pins Kyle O'Reilly and does pick up that second fall. At this point, he is laid out. He's completely knocked out. He does go to the outside of the ring to get checked out by doctors, but Adam Cole follows him out there, throws him back in the ring while the steel cage is being lowered. And then the steel cage portion was pretty short. At the end, though, Adam Cole is talking trash to Kyle O'Reilly after he handcuffs him to the ring ropes. Now, Kyle O'Reilly is completely out on his feet. He eats 3 super kicks to the face, and then the fourth one, he catches the foot and applies a heel hook. The heel hook did not look like it was in whatsoever. The commentary was trying to sell it, but it did not look good whatsoever. There looked like there was no pressure on it whatsoever, and it was just such an anticlimactic ending.
If it would have looked better, I think this would have been a fun finish, because of the way he was handcuffed and still win. But yeah, and
he was out on his feet after 3 super kicks, and then he does end up catching the foot in a last gasp effort to pick up the win. But like you said, yeah, if it looked better, maybe this would have been a little bit better, but it looked bad. It did not look good at all.
I still like the match overall.
I thought it disappointed.
First falls I wish would have went further because they're both fresh and not get just that roll up quick pin.
Yes, Ty, you say that he had one arm and broken ribs to sell, but that's the entire point. He didn't look like he was... There was no pressure on the heel or knee of Adam Cole. He could hardly get a grip of it because he only had one hand. It just didn't look good. It looked like Adam Cole was just laying there with his leg on him. It did not look... I get what you're saying about selling, but you also have to sell a finish as well. And when it doesn't look good whatsoever, then that lowers the value. Because if it doesn't look good, how am I going to be convinced that Adam Cole should have tapped there when it looks like he's just laying with his leg on him? But the next match, we had the main event. We had Samoa Joe facing off against Karrion Kross. Oh boy, Karrion Kross. Yeah, this match was not great because Karrion Kross. Definitely because of Karrion Kross. Samoa Joe did carry him a little bit in this match and made him look somewhat okay. But yeah, I do not like Karrion Kross.
I think Joe was a little rusty too because he hasn't really been
And
in
that's
the matches.
yeah, that's the thing. He was most likely pretty rusty, but he still looked like he kind of carried Karrion Kross a
Oh
little bit.
yeah, I mean he's much better than Cross, even Rusty. I love Joe, and I was just saying he for him he was rusty. He was still better than Karrion Kross, and I'm glad he's not going to be on NXT and he's not the champ no more because Samoa Joe did win.
Samoa Joe did win, and yeah, we had Karrion Kross come out in gimp gear. I wish I would have saved the picture and put it up on the stream. Yeah, Karrion Kross came out in a apocalyptic looking helmet, and yeah, gimp gear. It looked bad. It looked really bad.
Once again, he didn't have Scarlett with him.
And he did not have Scarlett with him, which is weird.
Ty said, #You're not special.
Hashtag You're Not Special is correct. No, I mean, I could easily grab the picture, but then it's a lot of effort to actually put it in OBS and then onto the stream and size it correctly. It just is time that people can just Google it if they want. But yes, on to... I guess we'll do...
It was a good show.
I liked TakeOver. I didn't care about it much. I think it had a little bit to do with, one, I don't like Karrion Kross. Number two, I didn't care about really any of the matches on there. I'm not a huge fan of Cameron Grimes. I've been saying that for a long time. Yeah, the women's match was okay. But yeah, this was still... I would have given it a 7. I would have put it just over top of SummerSlam, because I do think SummerSlam had some better matches on it. Like I said, SummerSlam had about 3 good matches that I really liked on there. This had 1, but the rest weren't bad, if you know what I'm saying. Kind of like SummerSlam. They kind of degraded. TakeOver was kind of just a straight line.
I think there was more than one match for me. $1 Million Championship match I loved.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
The NXT UK Championship was probably the best one of the night.
Yep, that was my one.
Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, while it wasn't as good as you thought it could be, I still liked it. And then, so I can watch the last match, even if Karrion Kross was, and Joe became the first ever 3-time NXT champion. So
yeah, there's some perks to it, and that's why I do put it over top of. I do put it over top of SummerSlam.
Yeah, and
they were all above average.
SummerSlam. I mean, SummerSlam was what, 4.5.
It was a long time. It went late. But yeah, I guess now we'll go on and we'll just talk briefly about what we like about what's going on with Raw and what we don't like about what's going on with Raw. I guess I'll start. What I don't like about what's going on with Raw is, number one, Karrion Kross. That's probably the biggest thing that I don't like going on with Karrion Kross. He did just beat Ricochet in a squash match after coming out looking like a gimp. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. Honestly, there's really nothing on Raw that I think is great right now besides Matt Riddle and Randy Orton. RK Bro is the best thing that's going on Raw by a long shot. It's not even close.
Cross feeding Ricochet, I hated it. But the other thing I hate is, why are Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax still together? and losing.
You got me beat.
They just why do you keep doing this to Baszler? Should be in the title picture. She doesn't have to be the champion, but she should be in the picture. And team her with Nia Jax over and over again, and they're not even winning. They're just losing, and she's usually the one that takes the pinfall. Yes, they win against Nikki and Rhea and lost, and Baszler ate the pinfall. Yeah, Shayna's great. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of her, but she can go. She can wrestle. Just because I'm not like a fan, but I can see she wrestles. Am I still here, or are you gone? Or okay, you just weren't saying nothing, so I didn't know if I had.
No, I was just listening.
Yeah, I just think that is like one of the worst things. I mean, there's a lot of bad on Raw, like you said.
Yeah, and I mean Shayna going solo would be great. If she was how she was in NXT, that would be the best thing for business, in my opinion.
I don't mind the Mansoor Ali team either.
I just don't care about it.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're not RK Bro style, but they're growing good as a team, like building them. And I mean, the fact that he only won because Jinder got disqualified is kind of lame, but you know, you gotta take it as Raw, so that's good for Raw.
Yeah. Moving on to SmackDown. Obviously, what I don't like going on with SmackDown right now is, number one, Becky Lynch, what they did with Bianca Belair mainly. I do like Becky, but what they have going on right now and what they did to Bianca at SummerSlam was rough. Becky came back this Friday, and she got booed pretty heavily when she was coming out. It was a mixture of cheers and boos, but Becky Lynch shouldn't have any boos when she's coming out, so that's kind of a problem. And I do think that they are trying to make her heel. I think they've announced that. But yeah, it's just not good. But what is good, Roman Reigns, obviously. I did like in this previous SmackDown where the Usos were stopping Paul Heyman from going into Roman's locker room because they don't trust him because he used to be with Brock Lesnar. I liked that. And then number two, I really like Happy Corbin. I really liked Poor Corbin as well. But Happy Corbin is a nice change of pace. A lot of people don't like it, but I'm a fan. I like everything that they've been doing with Corbin.
I like the Happy Corbin thing, but isn't this just the same thing that Cameron Grimes has been?
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
The thing I don't like about SmackDown, the IC title, just not being featured at all. Love Shinsuke. Glad he would be if he was doing something with the title, would love it because Shinsuke's amazing. Yeah, and
him being in a tag match this week with Boogs. Yeah, not great.
Wasn't featured on the pay-per-view, even though it was, just as we talked about, super long. Wasn't even on the pre-show. Nothing with it. Just, it has nothing going on right now.
Yep.
It's just on his waist or shoulder.
And then another thing that I don't know if I like it or not, honestly. We had Dominic Mysterio versus Sami Zayn, returning Sami Zayn. Which is great. I love Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn does pick up the win. But my favorite part of this, or the part I don't know if I really like, is Dominic pushing his father Ray after the match. We see a little bit of tensions forming between the two. I feel like we're gonna have Dominic retire Ray.
Maybe. He'd have to be a heel at that point.
Well, I think he's going that way. I mean, he did push Ray.
I mean, he's going to have to be because people like Ray. I'm not his fan. I'm not a fan. I like him as a wrestler. It's good, but I'm just not like a fan of his.
Yeah.
what I liked, the whole thing. Well, you said Reigns, but Finn Balor coming out there to interrupt him because he never got his match they were supposed to have, and then when they all attacked him, the Street Profits. Please give me the Street Profits versus the Usos. Give them good match. Make it a long match. Because both those teams can go. They're both really good teams. The Street Profits don't have to win at first. You make it a long story. Give us a story like that, like they're doing with Reigns, and I'll be happy because I like tag team wrestling, and both of them are really good teams.
And then now NXT. What I do like about what's going on with NXT right now, number one is Hit Row and Legado del Fantasma. I do love that back and forth that they have going on. It's gonna turn into something much bigger. They had a really good match this week on NXT, and yeah, they're gonna be doing some pretty big stuff coming up. On top of that, I will say I like Samoa Joe as champion. Do I think he needed to be the one to come back and beat Karrion Kross? No, but I do like Samoa Joe. I just thought that like Pete Dunne or somebody like that should have been the one to take the title. I just didn't ever put Samoa Joe into the mix before he got signed back. I don't really care too much about the NXT Breakout Tournament right now because, as we know from the last Breakout Tournament, just because you win does not mean that you're going to be anything. Just because you win doesn't mean you're not going to get released in 2 months because you do something dumb. Yeah.
As far as dislike, I don't know if I dislike it. It was maybe I don't care that women's tag match they had.
No, don't care.
Like I didn't care about any of those 4 women.
Nope.
And I did like Joe having all the competitors come out there, you know, because he's going to have a bunch of people wanting to get in. And I'm for all 3 of those guys, Dunn, Knight, and O'Reilly. Yes, any of those against Samoa Joe should be a good match. They all 4, including Joe, they all can wrestle really good. And Ciampa is another one I would throw in there because Ciampa and Joe have had some good fights. So I'm really glad Joe's the champ and not Cross anymore.
Yeah, I mean, anything's better than Karrion Kross right now. Karrion Kross is just so boring, and he couldn't put on a good match. He got carried in a fatal 4-way. Yeah, he's just not.
It was
5-way. It was basically a fatal 4-way.
Yeah, it was 4-way. It was a good 4-way when he wasn't in the match.
4-way plus Karrion Kross. I think that's what we called it when we were going over it. I think we were calling it a fatal 4-way with special guest Karrion Kross. But moving on to AEW, we had Friday, the night before SummerSlam, we had AEW Rampage. Now, everybody kind of assumed there was a lot of rumor. Oh, no problem. I appreciate you being here.
Worst kept secret.
Terrible kept secret, but I think that was the point as well. Because I think they wanted views. Yes, we have the return of CM Punk, and what a pop it was. The show opens to the crowd chanting CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk, and then we had it go silent to the Cult of Personality playing. That's when the crowd pops the first time, And then once they see him walking out of the face tunnel, they pop a second time, which was absolutely great. He did sit down in the ring and talk about his absence, ignoring his time in WWE because he doesn't view that as professional wrestling, because Vince does not call it professional wrestling. He calls it sports entertainment. So that made sense. I wasn't too upset. I know that some people were. But, yeah.
I didn't even hear the music because that crowd popped so loud.
Yeah.
I figured that's what they were popping for, but I didn't hear the music at all. Like, they were that loud.
It was great. I've watched that specific part back. The video's out now, so if anybody's missed that pop, go on YouTube. It's there. But yeah, that pop was incredible. When I first saw it, I mean, obviously you knew what was coming because of the huge pop, but what really set it off for me wasn't necessarily the music. It was the logo that popped up on the Titantron, which was his arms crossed and the Chicago flag and everything like that. So his typical logo that everybody has grown to know.
This was done so well. Even Jim Cornette had nothing bad to say about it.
The best part about this,
about everything,
and the best part about this was AEW did it the right way. So I'm not saying like, oh, everybody should have known, but it was, number one, it was good that everybody kind of assumed, because then that got them to 1.36 million in terms of viewership numbers. They did drop down after the segment to 1.13, I think, but that's still 400,000 more than the previous week, which is great. But what I mean by them doing it the right way is that he came out, he talked, he sat in the ring. It was a 15-minute segment. The commentators did not say one word the entire time. They were silent until he was done, and they cut to them with the ice cream bars, which was great because they didn't ruin it. They let him do him. If he was going to make it great, he was going to make it great. If he was going to suck, he was going to suck. They let him do what he's supposed to do and what he's great at.
They didn't have somebody come out there and attack him.
Nope.
I know there was a little thing with him and Darby setting up the match, but Darby didn't even say anything.
No, and
talked to Darby.
He was in the rafters. Yeah, it was great overall. Yes, he is going to be having a match here this Saturday coming up. No. Yes, no. What day is that?
I think it's this Sunday, isn't it? I think it's...
For some reason, I have the 5th in my head, but I think that's something else. I have the 5th in my head for another reason. What's the date for that? Oh, it is the 5th.
Sunday,
Okay.
September 5th, yeah.
I was right. My brain worked for a second. So, yes. Sunday, September 5th is going to be CM Punk's first match back. Yeah, it's going to be great. He's going against Darby, which Darby can have a great match with anybody. CM Punk is known to have very good matches. He'll probably be a little bit rusty. He hasn't been in the ring in over 7 years, so we'll see. But, yeah, very, very good. Good on AEW. And before anybody says anything, I think Brock Lesnar's was good as well. Becky Lynch's, not so much. But Brock Lesnar's...
Becky's return was good, but after that, the match...
They shit on it. They ruin everything. That's what I always say, is they ruin everything. I even said it in our chat, in the chat with me, you, and Travis. As soon as it happened, I said, defend this. They ruin everything. Like, that could have been a great moment, and they ruined it. They just took a shit all over it. At least they didn't ruin the Brock Lesnar one, too. But yeah, they just took a big old dookie all over it. Love the feel of AEW more than WWE. The writing and story play and actual wrestling reminds me more of the Attitude Era. Sorry, that was the pinnacle of WWE. WWE writers just lost touch. All soap opera crap now. Yeah, I mean that's AEW's motto, not being Attitude Era, but their motto is really give the people what they want. Oops, I did it again. Just like Trevor said a few days ago, he posted a meme that said AEW is just the WWE everybody wanted. That's what it said, right? Very similar to that.
Yeah, Kai said, I mean, why does everyone say wrestlers haven't been in the ring for so and so amount of years when they obviously train before they appear? Yeah, but that's different.
It takes
it's not
time.
A crowd, and if they get something wrong, they have to just roll with it. They can't just stop and be like, well, let's do that again.
Yeah, it's way different. He hasn't been in a ring in front of a live crowd.
I'm sure he's
wrestling.
been practicing and.
Oh yeah, he's probably been practicing for close to a year now if he knew he was going to return. But yeah,
in front of a live
it's
crowd,
way
it's
different.
going to be a lot different. I mean, if he'd returned during when they just had nobody there or just the wrestlers and they could stop and restart or edit it, then it would have been different.
Way different. Way different. I mean, yeah. Just training and then having a match in front of 20 to 30,000 people screaming. Way different. Way different. They even say that. They say that when they wrestle in front of a crowd, they have the adrenaline and everything like that. And when COVID era was going on, they didn't feel any of that. So it felt more like practice to them, which is easier to perform because you're not really worrying about too much. They can kind of edit things around to make it look okay. But when it's live, it's live.
And to be fair, like WWE would have got a big pop for Edge returning because he
absolutely.
wasn't supposed to.
Same with Christian.
So, yeah, and if there would have been a crowd, but so they both would have great pops, and just the crowd pop for CM Punk was ridiculous.
Insane in the membrane. And I mean, Edge's pop.
Even a CM Punk.
I will say Edge's.
I did watching.
This is the best pop since Edge's pop at the Royal Rumble when he returned. Because when he returned at the Royal Rumble, that did have fans, and that was great. I do think this one was a little bit better. I know that Travis was saying, "Oh, but of course it's going to sound good when they have cameras or when they have microphones in the audience." They didn't pipe up that. That was pure. Even if you watch BTE, if they pipe up sounds on BTE, there's a problem. Watch BTE; it shows it all from the backstage. It shows CM Punk's background or his actual reaction to the crowd chanting CM Punk, and then when his music hits the pop, it shows his whole reaction, which is very great and genuine. Yeah, he said he loves April, which is her real name, so he gave her a little shout. He gave her a little shout out.
But yeah, I didn't watch wrestling when he was there. I've only seen maybe 1 or 2 matches of his because I would go watch WrestleMania with friends.
Well, I'm sure you've gone back and watched like his match with John Cena.
Yeah, I've seen them a little bit, but
and probably The Rock at Royal Rumble.
Yeah, so I'm like, I didn't pop like that. I popped because it was a big moment, but not like, oh my god, it's CM Punk, I can't believe it.
It just gave me a fuzzy feeling on the inside because it was a happy moment.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And the guy crying that everybody keeps
showing. Which is getting invited free tickets to All Out.
I've seen people like, oh, why is he crying? It's just some guy coming. Shut up.
The wrestlers have been defending him.
Nobody thought he was coming back. Yeah.
Legends have been defending him too.
That's what they do the job. I mean, obviously they do it for money, but that's part of what they do it for, the crowd reaction. That was a big moment. So.
Yeah, and then just hitting on Impact really quick. Christian Cage is the new Impact champion after beating Kenny Omega. He will be facing Kenny Omega again for the AEW World Championship this time at All Out. Buddy Murphy and Braun Strowman have both signed to Impact Wrestling. One of them is a surprise, the other one not so much. Braun Strowman, I think, should have gone to Impact. He has the better build for Impact. Impact is more of a big man's area. AEW is a lot more high flying, a lot more fast paced. Straight up Buddy Murphy's alley. The good thing is they're partnered, so we're probably going to see Buddy Murphy on AEW in the near future, just as an Impact talent. Do you have any?
I like that they're working together. I kind of wish Strowman would have went to AEW if Bray is going there, and they
that would have
put
been
them
nice.
all together.
Yeah.
Even bring back Rowan.
And that's the other. Still wrestling. That's the other thing here is that there is rumors of number one, Adam Cole going to AEW. That makes complete sense. His fiance is the women's champion there, Britt Baker. And then on top of that, he was in the Bullet Club. His best friends are Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. He has a great relationship with all those guys. So it makes sense that he would go to AEW, even if he's declining $1 million offer by WWE. But people are saying that, oh, well, CM Punk had AC on his shoes. That doesn't mean anything. This week, CM Punk had BW on his shoes, which people are like, oh, that means Bray Wyatt. Now he's hinting at both of them. We don't know what it means. Who knows if it's an actual hint? I doubt it. I
liked his hint, though. When
his hint to Daniel.
Yes. That's someone else's gimmick. You're going to have to wait a little longer for that.
You're going to have to be a little bit more patient. That was great. That made me laugh because we obviously knew he was talking about Daniel Bryan because everybody's doing the yes chant. Adam Cole, officially, his contract was up this past Friday.
Friday. He had an appearance for them for some toy thing.
Mattel. Yeah, he had a Mattel appearance. It was a live online thing with Johnny Gargano to announce the new collection from Mattel. Apparently, he was already signed to that a couple of months ago, so he was kind of obligated to do it regardless. His contract ended on Friday, so technically he could show up anywhere right now, because he does not have a no-compete clause because his contract went up, so he does not have to worry about a no-compete clause. Kind of like how Jon Moxley's was. He let his contract run out, so he instantly could go wherever he wanted, and that's why we saw him end up in AEW much faster than anybody anticipated. And that was a pop. That was a great pop because nobody saw that coming, and that was the first big name to show up in AEW that instantly came over from WWE. So that was great. Nobody has been mentioning that pop, which is weird because that was a big one. But yeah, I guess. Do you have anything?
Not about that week. Are we ready for this week, or are we just gonna do what we liked or what we don't like?
I hit a little bit on this week already.
I was gonna say the only thing I really don't care for that they're doing is the whole QT Marshall thing. Why?
Oh, AEW. Yeah, I didn't hit on AEW stuff this week.
Just stop it with him.
I don't like him either. This is their way of giving Paul White one last match. It's going to be a squash match, so we'll see. Yes, Talk is Jericho, the Moxley episode, is a must listen. A must listen. If you have not heard the Talk is Jericho with John Moxley, absolutely listen to that ASAP, because it is one of the best podcast episodes of any podcast. So that is great. Yeah, what I do like going on with AEW right now is the tag team division, as always. Jungle Brothers. I was looking at the word Lucha Brothers, and I said Jungle Brothers. Yeah, Jungle Express. Jurassic Express, sorry. They're going to be facing the Young Bucks for the Tag Team Championships. I think that is great. I think that is the smart move here. I think they have a chance to win, so that's a good sign as well, because this match could go either way, and nobody really knows for sure. Malachi Black is another great thing going on right now. He just destroyed Arn Anderson's son, who is a new wrestler, Brock Anderson.
He's a clone of Arn Anderson.
He is.
I don't think he's his son.
Identical clone.
Like him.
Identical. Yeah, I mean, that's great. The things that aren't...
I love that they keep showing Miro every week with the title, even if he's not
in a match. Yep.
Just that's what you need to do with your title.
I completely agree.
WWE IC title, United States title. Let's get them on the show.
Put
them in a match every now and again.
It's so difficult because, like, Orange Cassidy versus Matt Hardy was pretty decent. It wasn't a bad match at all. And then we had the Tag Team Eliminator match. Jamie Hayter versus Red Velvet, I really didn't care too much about. But yes, Miro being on the show every week, even if he doesn't have a match, is great. Having John Moxley in a tag team with Eddie Kingston makes a lot of sense, so we can still get him on TV if he's not going to be a main event talent right now, because they do need to move him aside so some other people can have a shot at it. He did have the title for quite some time, and it was a very good reign. So,
you think they're going to bring a trios title? Like there was a rumor?
Yes.
They have a lot of trios.
Tony Khan has basically already confirmed it, and he wants the trios title to be cross-promotional.
Yeah, because they had, on this week, they had the Moxley, Kingston, Darby against the Wingmen.
Yeah. And then before that, they had them versus 2.0 and Daniel Garcia.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I like what they're doing right now. There's very few things I dislike about AEW. It is the top show right now. That's not me being biased. That's me just honestly watching it and enjoying it the most.
Yes.
Raw.
Rampage and Dynamite.
And Rampage is so good because it's an hour long and it's from start to finish. It's good. Like, it's short and good. It's short and sweet. It gives you really good story up front, a couple good matches, and you're done. That is what wrestling should be. It should not be a 3-hour boring show.
Them getting Sting is also huge, and they're using him so well. He doesn't Sting. He doesn't wrestle often.
Yeah.
When he does, he's in a tag match. Come in, do some stuff, and get out. And not sit there and look bad and not almost hurt somebody. Goldberg almost killed Lashley. He's almost hurt so many other people.
Almost killed The Undertaker for sure.
Yeah, he can't lift those people when they're that big. The Undertaker's not a small dude. Lashley is definitely not a small dude. He's just pure muscle, and he can't lift him like that. And he likes to try to hold them and almost dumps them on their head.
Yep. I did like Bobby Lashley doing the jackhammer to Goldberg. That was nice. Oh no, 100%. It's way better, from the talent to the commentators, story writing, everything about AEW is just perfect. I don't know if I would say perfect, because if Travis is here, he's going to have an aneurysm. they do have some things that they mess up on, that they miss on. It's very few. Like QT Marshall's one of them. Yeah, the Wingman is another one, and the women's division.
The women's division isn't great, but they've gotten better.
Absolutely.
I mean,
they were terrible when it first started.
WWE's women's division, none of the women's divisions are great.
NWA Empower. Oh, that's one thing that we didn't talk about. NWA Empower happened. That is Mickey James' all-female show. It actually was a pretty decent show. The most notable thing that happened on it, though, is Awesome Khan announced that she is officially retired. We had some really good talents on there, though. 5 women from Impact or from AEW were there. The NWA Women's Championship, the Impact Knockouts Championship. They were all defended on NWA Empower. So, yeah, I mean, it's great for women's wrestling that they're going to have a show that is specifically on them, that is not like Glow, and it's not like, what's the other all-women show that's on, like, YouTube?
Not sure.
I'm blanking on what it's called, but this is on a more, it's on a much larger scale. So this is nice.
As far as the commentators, I do think WWE has some good commentators. I like Corey Graves and Pat McAfee, and hopefully he recovers from COVID very soon, because he is also he makes SmackDown really good.
Yeah.
It's his enthusiasm when he gets up on the table and he's
dancing
to Rick Boobs. And,
yeah, it's contagious.
Yes, and you could just tell he's a fan and just is happy to be there. And when you're happy to be there, you make everybody else happy watching.
And he put on one hell of a match with Adam Cole. And competed in more games. He's committed.
War games.
War games. Sorry if that was offensive to any of the UK people here, because we are not good at English accents.
But we do love Regal.
We do love Regal a lot. But that's all I got.
Yeah.
We are an hour and a half deep in our podcast, and that's pretty standard for us. You've heard worse. I almost did it again, but I'm not going to. I thought too much about it.
For the show, I have the totals for everybody from both shows.
I'll
post that later. Sorry it took so long. I actually kind of just forgot about it.
Do we have an overall winner? Do we have a solo?
Had the most.
Hey, Thunderbird!
He had 12 right total from both shows. And then we had a lot of people with 10, which was you, Kai, Will, DKA, Travis Horn, and Flying Dingus all had 10 right. Then Rated and Rosa had 7. KOS Wolf, I don't know who that is, I'm sorry, had 9. Joseph Contreras had 4. And then Andrea had 2, but she only put in one of the cards. I think it was NXT, so
gotcha.
She missed a lot of points there.
Rated, you do need to start, watching wrestling and doing these, because you got 7, bud. You got 7, but that's actually not too bad considering you don't really watch wrestling. But you got you got 7 of them, correct? It's pretty impressive. You only put in SummerSlam? That's not bad. How many matches were on SummerSlam? Do you have that number?
No. Because the one didn't count either, because
nobody
won.
Let's see. I'm gonna look really quick. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 matches. Okay. So there's 9 matches technically. So you got 7 out of 9. That's pretty good for not actually watching. Cool J Gamer, how you doing, bud? We are 9.5 hours deep into this stream right now. 9.5 hours. Yeah. Again, I'm actually going to switch over to the big can. Trevor, do you have anything to say before we head out?
I hope you have a good rest of your stream. I'll still be here in chat. Are you going to keep the donations things like a few days so people can still donate? I know one person at least said they're not going to get
Yeah,
paid.
a couple people requested me keep it up until at least Wednesday or Thursday. I'll probably leave it up until Friday, just so people, because I know a lot of people get paid on Fridays too. So I'll probably go ahead and leave it up until Friday. Yeah, right now we're at $1,287.89. One of our UK darlings in chat donated to us, and the conversion rate made the total number come in at a wonky number. I think it came in at $17.89. So that's why we're kind of wishy-washy. I didn't put the 89-cent on the goal part, but we are at $1,287.89. But
that's amazing.
It absolutely is. I mean, like I told you and Travis before, when I brought up that I wanted to do this, especially after everything that happened in Afghanistan. Yeah, I was worried that it potentially wasn't going to go well, because I have seen other charity streams happen, and people just don't donate, which is okay, because really just getting the message out there is what we're trying to do. The donation portions is just kind of extra, and I mean, $1,300, that's a lot of money, and I really do appreciate that a lot. I'm just happy that I honestly was going to make the goal $500, $250 for each organization that we're going to be donating to, which is right over here. But yet, there was one donation that I got that was $500, and I got that the other day. So as soon as I got that $500 one, I was like, well, I'm going to have to bump this up a little bit. So I figured I'd overshoot, go to 2,000. I kind of figured we wouldn't make it to 2,000, which is completely okay with me, because this has gone well past my expectations. And I really do appreciate that, because they are going to some great organizations. Number one being 22 Kill, which is a nonprofit organization that prevents veteran suicide and first responder suicide. The second one being Operation Second Chance, which is a lot like Wounded Warrior Project. I've been donated into them for quite a while now. I absolutely love everything they do. Actually, what they're doing right now is they are giving a lot of money to the families of the Marines and the corpsmen that were killed in Afghanistan a couple days ago. So that's huge, because this is why we're doing this right now. Everything that happened in Afghanistan and everything like that, it hits close to home, especially for me. Until Valhalla, of course. Yeah, so $1,300, I appreciate that so much. And I know people have been messaging me saying, hey, can you rate just donate another $13 so we can get that up to an even $1,300.
Thanks, Rated.
Thank you, Rated. So yeah, $1,300 now. $1,389 actually. But yeah, absolutely incredible. 12 hours has been a long time. I kind of underestimated. I'm at 9.5 right now. 9 hours, 37 minutes, and 40 seconds is what we're at right now. Emma's actually the one that got us to she got us that 89 cents. So we appreciate her a lot because she did send that donation in. So I really appreciate that. But yes, this has been the NOW podcast. As always, we are going to try to be on Sunday.
No,
Nope,
week is the pay-per-view
not
Sunday.
this Sunday. So maybe Monday. Who knows? You know how we are. We're flexible over here because my work schedule is wonky. Thankfully, I'm off on Sundays, so I was able to do this stream today.
Look
Yeah.
for a prediction poll. If you want to win strands, it's easy. It takes a minute.
Less than.
Just your name, and then you click multiple choice things. Remember to put your name. We had a lot of people submit blank ones. So
Yeah, put your name at the top. That's the first question it asks. But yeah, again, thank you guys so much. I am still going to be on. I got another 2.5 hours to go, and yeah, let's have some fun. I'm going to swap over to the charity cam for approximately 10 minutes, so I can go to the bathroom and everything like that. Is there a website that I can donate to instead? Because the issue I'm having with Twitch, I removed my credit card information. I'm actually not taking the money. I'm not taking donations to Twitch because Twitch takes a good percentage of the donations. I want all of the money that you guys donate to go to these organizations. So I have two things that you can send it to. Number one being Cash App, which is Cody Gray 21, and then number two is Venmo, because I know a lot of people don't have Cash App. They usually have Venmo, so we do have the Venmo up there as well, which is BM Gray 21. That is my wife's Venmo, because I don't have Venmo. But yes, all of the donations, we are keeping heavy track of those. Every time somebody sends to Venmo, my wife is instantly putting going to Cash App. She's sending that money to Cash App, so I know. So it's all in one spot. So yeah, Venmo. Venmo is just another Cash App, PayPal type application. But yes, thank you guys very much. Give me about 10 minutes. So about 9:50, I will be back. We are going to be getting on some Rocket League. Haven't played Rocket League in a while since we actually made that goal redemption. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.